Sit on the bench unless you have the papers, because you coach from idea of saying, I've seen so and so on TV, this is how he does it, and not getting the proper way of coaching in a certain way of saying that they were okay, this parts I need to develop in a player. Because if you go through these courses, you begin to have an eye to say, okay, I see so and so that his greatest strength is not being a left back. I can take him and put him in this position to say he'll thrive in. Are you looking into having coaches like that on the bench? Because you just can't have somebody just say, I'll pop out and just be a coach. I want to be a coach, and for the sake I don't even have proper, because you look at lower levels in rugby, you have to have the papers. You can't sit on the bench and not have the papers. The same with refereeing and the linesman. You can't just have somebody, because that's where you learn to say, okay, this is now become serious at development level. We take it up, because when this player becomes professional one day, he really understands that there's a standard and there's a level, because in every level you keep going up.
No, it's absolutely true what you say, but I think you must think of this in terms of two tracks.
Yes.
In every society. Firstly, there's the one track that is your elite track. These are players that have been spotted at a young age. And I've studied the cricket and the rugby model. It's largely based on the schools. There are certain schools that they have a kind of a league system, but the cricket or the rugby coach at the schools are properly trained and accredited. So they have the basic know-how. They are not experts, but they've got basic know-how. And they organize it at the grassroots level. But they also play the role of spotting talent. And the very best talent then goes to these elite schools. How do you call them? Grace College, wherever. And their cricket and rugby invests even more into the coaching. And then from there they are pulled up into these provincial clubs. So you have an elite track, and already, maybe not at every school, but at their academy schools, they already have a forward coach, a defensive coach, or cricket, they've got a spinning coach and a catching coach. But even that, you probably have in the country probably 5 institutions of that kind. That is still at the development stage until they get to the provincial. If you play for the Stormers or the Cheetahs, that's like the elite nationally. And it works, because out of that, produce world champions. But you can hardly say that cricket is down at the grassroots level. I mean, how many teams have you seen playing cricket outside here in the villages?
Not here in the village. I know in Zinso there's a league that takes place, I think also in Croxford, if I'm not mistaken.
But it's not. It doesn't have the popular base that soccer has.
True.
So soccer should have more potential than them in,
Yes.
in sporting talent.
Yes, yes.
But what soccer misses is that elite development.
Development.
The development is only taking place from the clubs itself. So the clubs have a kind of academy and they
Yes.
bring the talent. But and those clubs are running on a profit basis, so they don't put in more than what they make out of it. There's a limit
Yes.
to it. SAFA's strategy is a brilliant one, but never implemented. It still needs to be implemented because what they had in mind is that every province should have a center of excellence, like an academy.
Yeah.
I mean, now KwaZulu-Natal, we still, the first one should have been built in KwaZulu-Natal in terms of their strategy. But that should have happened in 2022. It's 2026, it still hasn't been built. And so there's no place where, I mean, I could recommend 3 or 4 brilliant youngsters here who are still, between the age of 12 and 13, the ideal age to nurture them.
Yes.
But there is no academy. There is no academy. So I think the missing element in soccer is a structure for producing elite soccerers that have got all that expertise that you're talking about.
Yes.
A forward coach, a goalkeeper coach, and all those specialized areas.
Yes.
We are in a very difficult situation because we lack that elite infrastructure, but we also lack the mass-based infrastructure. Because we are the only ones, at least here at the rural area. Maybe if you go to Coxton, you'll get them with an under-10 league or under-13 league that is functional.
Yeah.
Where they are playing. These youngsters have started now and they're going to be playing until the end of July. So three months of, you get a certain strength and skill that will come out of it. For me, the ideal would be to have a mass base of that kind throughout the whole country. And then riding on top of it, you have a system where you can spot players and take them through the elite chain.